Hello friends, how are you? This is Ganesh and video number 3 on ALV reports. In this session I'm going to explain about the custom menu, how we can include a custom buttons or options with the help of the standard ALV menus, and how to do the data manipulations on the same ALV report. So that is the idea of today's session. So here I'm going to explain how to copy um, the standard menu and how to modify it depends on your requirement, and the custom button. So if they click, how to capture the function code and how to modify the content of your ALV, and how we can refresh our ALV report as well. So this is the idea of this session. And again, still we are in the traditional way. I'm not going to use any object oriented concept even in this slide as well. Okay, so let's get into the slide. Okay, so here the first thing we are going to learn about is what is the parameter for enable our custom menu. So what is custom menu generally? We are going to keep our own buttons, but in ALV format we are going to copy the standard functionality, means standard functionality of the menu painter, because standard has a lot of options available for a ALV. So sorting, filtering, changing the layout, many options are available in that standard ALV menu. So we don't want to disturb them, and user also prefer those to be enabled for the ALV report. So along with that, we are going to add our own functionality. So sometimes business needs, I need an extra button for my extra functionality to be performed, which is not part of the standard ALV menu options. So in that is the case, we need to enable or we need to add the custom menu. So here, how we are going to do it, we are not going to create everything from scratch, because if you create everything from scratch, like sorting, change the layout and filtering, you have to write the code. It's not required actually. So what we are going to do is we are going to copy the standard functionality, especially the menu painter options, from a standard program, and we are going to delete or add whatever is required for our business need. Okay, so that is a way we are going to keep or create a custom menu, especially for ALVs. Okay, and the parameter to enable or pass your own menus is like I callback pf status set. This is not a direct parameter, just pass your menu painter name. No, it is going to be a it's going to be a value, is going to receive a value that is nothing but a subroutine. Okay, and that subroutine is going to define like how you made user command in the previous video. Same thing you're going to do it here. Form subroutine name, and it has one mandatory formal parameter. It is an internal table, actually it's body of an internal table, and the reference is list t reference a table type, and exclude tab, ex tab is exclude tab. It's going to have all the function code of the application, menu painter buttons. Okay, so that is going to be the one of the mandatory parameter, and inside you are going to use a very common statement to enable a menu painter for your report is like set pf status, and whatever name you provide, the same name you have to give. So this is a way you have to enable the custom menu for your ALV output, and this is the parameter of your function module list or grid display. And the reference here, this is a standard program and the standard menus. We usually copy all the standard ALV output buttons with the help of this menu only. Okay, so anyway, you have your own program, so copy this to your own program, give the same name called standard, or give any name whatever you want, menu 1, menu 2, whatever you want. You have to add it in your custom program. Okay, and so here, after adding everything to a custom, whatever is the standard performs, the functionality remains same. You don't worry about the writing a code for sorting because it's in custom. No, whatever is there, if you're not disturbing the function code, it works as it is. Okay, so once you copy, don't disturb the existing functionality, just add whatever is required, 1 or 2 buttons, and write a code, write a functionality for the particular business need. Okay, so don't worry about the rest of the one, it will work as it is. Then Yeah, the next one is user command. If you add a new functionality or a button in the ALV menu options, definitely you need to write a code for it. So for that, this parameter we are going to use, we already used this I callback user command, and we used for interactive ALV. So same function, same subroutine, I'm going to make use of my menu painter function code. So if you have 2 or 3 additional function code, the same parameter is going to be captured, and we are going to write based on this function code, do this, based on this function code, do this functionality. So that is going to be taken care in the same subroutine, and the parameter is I callback user command. So interactive also going to be there, and the menu is also going to be there. So the basic idea would be, if any event happens in your ALV, that is going to be captured in this subroutine. So this is not only for interactive ALVs, only for menus, not like that. Any event is going to be captured with the help of this subroutine. And yeah, additionally, we are going to see some more relevant parameters for this menus. One is excluding. Is nothing but I have a standard function buttons. Some reasons user wants to hide some functionality from the standard. I'm talking about standard menus, not the custom. You have a full control, you can delete whatever is not required. So standard, what you can do is, sometimes what we have to do is we have to exclude few options for few users or few user groups. So we can write a code on it. It's very simple. The parameter is IT excluding. IT refers internal table. So this is going to be an internal table. So more than one, it's going to receive. So the internal table idea, the structure of the internal table is going to be collect all the function code of the button which is going to be disabled or excluded. Actually, technically we can say disable. It's actually excluded. Even it's not even show in the screen. Okay, so it's disabled from your ALV output. So what are the code, whatever the buttons you want to disable, collect the function code of the button. You know, it's very easy. Go to AC41, you're able to see all the function code of your menu buttons, and gather it and include it in an internal table and pass it one of the parameter. This is also coming under function module of ALV. Pass it, it will actually exclude, depends on the record whatever we have added it. Okay, so that is called IT excluding. And IS layout. So IT is internal table and this is a work area. It's IS is a work area. So here what I'm going to do is, anyway, I'm going to perform a data manipulation also in the same video. So for that, my preference is, first I'm going to update all the ALV data without any conditions, and then I'm going to enable a checkbox. Okay, so every record, against every record, I'm going to enable a checkbox, and based on the selection, I'm going to update. If the user select only 5 records, and then I'm going to update only the 5 records based on the selection. So for that, I want to enable the checkbox property. You don't want to create it. It's already available in a property of your ALV, is nothing but ls underscore layout, sorry, is underscore layout. So here, you have to, the first step would be you have to add a field in your internal table structure, because again ALV is a representative of your internal table, nothing much. Okay, so whatever you are seeing in a ALV format, in a backend you have everything available in your internal table only. So if there is any field in ALV, it needs to be represented as a field, one of the field in your internal table also. So I'm going to enable a checkbox property. So I need to have one additional field in my internal table to receive the value of the checkbox X selected, if it is empty, not selected. Okay, because based on the selection, I need to write a code. That is the first step. Just add one extra field, character 1 is enough. And then there is a, what do you call, field name for this property, work area. I created one work area, box underscore field name equal to whatever name you provided in your internal table, field name, you have to provide the same over here. That's it. Once you've done these 2 steps, checkbox is enabled against each record. Okay, you don't want to do anything else. Now the checkbox is ready. And then one of the field is coming under sliss underscore self field. The field name is refresh, meaning, so whatever I'm doing in my internal table, it needs to be refreshed. Okay, for example, if the user click the button saved or refreshed, So if you click refresh, I'm doing some manipulation in my internal table. Whatever I did in my internal table, that needs to be refreshed in my ALV, right? So for that, there is a field called a refresh. Normally we use this inside the user command for subroutine, because any event happens, definitely it's called the user command subroutine only. So inside, after all your manipulations, you enable, make sure this field has a value X. If that is X, automatically it is refreshed in your ALV screen. Okay, so these are things which we are going to see today, and yeah, that's it. So let's get into the system. So this is my rental system, and the program is already ready. I don't want to waste much time on it. So it's simple. Maybe the last one I have showed you. It has the purchase details. If I execute, and you will get a nice ALV format. So here these are standard menus, everything is available. And so first I'm going to do with the exclude option. So I want to exclude few options from here, and for that I need to know what is the function code of this, and I'm going to add it in my internal table and pass it to the exact relevant parameter in my function module. That is the first step. Then I will show you how to copy the standard to a custom, add our own code as well. Okay, so for that, let me get into this, because I want to know what is the reference of IT excluding parameter. So here it is. This is the one. Okay, copy it, go back. I need an internal table for that. So data exclude type. Okay, so anyway, this is a table type. So let me add type line of. Hope you know about it. So from body, if you want to create a work area, then you have to use type line of. Okay, yeah, that's it. Or you can have use directly structure without T. If you have, that is a structure like this also you can use. Okay, so now I need to add what are the things to be excluded. Exclude, I'll go with the sorting option. So exclude function code equal to, so I need to add it, add the function code, append exclude to IT exclude clear exclude. Okay, so I'm going to disable, or for, sorry, not disable, exclude actually, technically you can say, ascending and descending. Okay, so let me go to SE41 to know the function code. It's common everywhere. You can use, you can take the function code of ALV from the program, whatever I have showed you, and the menu also, the menu name is also called standard. Okay, let's take it from that. So here if we go to standard program name and the menu is standard and click display, so especially go to application toolbar. So this is the standard options, standard ALV application toolbar I can say. And here for ascending and descending, these are the function code. So let me copy this function code and go to my program. Yeah, and keep it here. So I don't want this, especially you got to copy the function code, not the name or icon name. So here this also, copy this too. Okay, that's it. And the parameter to be enabled, probably you can call it again, or if you know the name you can use it here, excluding. You don't worry about the order, that's fine. IT exclude. Yeah, okay, let's activate this and execute. So here if you see, the ascending and descending options are excluded, I can say. So it's excluded from the standard option. So this is a way we can use exclude option. Depends on the business need. Sometimes you have to use the if condition if the user group is this, or depends on business conditions, we can enable or we can exclude 3 on this, 4 on this, 2 on that. Okay, so based on if condition, you can fill your internal table, rest that will take care of it. Okay, and always I'm saying in ALV, whenever you use append, make sure this is actually cleared properly, maybe at the end of the scope or before if you started, because if the user is not going out properly, they're trying to execute the same program, it's keep on adding to that particular internal table, especially for ALV. It usually happens this kind of mistake, so make sure. Okay, and next I'm going to copy the standard, what do you call, menu painter to this program as one of the menu. Okay, to have the custom code along with the standard options. So go back and use this option, copy status, and from program is fine. This is my to program. You can have the same name or you can change the names as well. Custom menu, copy. So it'll ask, do you want to copy these are the lists, these are things you want to copy. So I just go with entire one. So it's copied and I'm going to act toward it. It's done. So what I can do is I can delete few options here. Mostly we deal with application toolbar if it go with the custom menu for an ALV. Okay, let me delete few options over here. Filter. Okay, I don't want this now. Here it is. Just delete. Okay, and let me add here. I don't want this empty line. Instead of that, I'm going to add my own code. So I'm not disturbing any standard function code. Okay, then only it will work properly. So I'm going to have my function code fct so you can change. Okay, enter function code. So it will ask, probably you might know how to create a menu painter options, and click. So this is change data, and if you want icon, you can provide whatever icons if you want. I think this is not available currently. Let's go with this info text, change pivot details, kind of. Just continue and select the shortcut key. It's done. This is going to be displayed like this. Act toward it. So things are ready, but I need to enable this because currently by default it display only the standard ALV. So I want to replace with my menu painter name called C menu. Okay, so for that I need to enable a parameter. So the parameter name is, I don't know exactly. Let's go here and copy to avoid the spelling mistake. This one, pf status set, go back and add it. So give a name, any name you can give, cust menu, that's it. So this is actually a subroutine, so I have to define the subroutine. So go here, form cust menu using one internal table, especially for the function code, type /text, that's it, and end form. Now you can have set pf status and it's C menu. So make sure you have this menu already available or copied in your under this particular program, and that is in active status. Act toward it. So once you have this in your program, it's automatically overwrites your standard ALV functions. So I have this option. So change pivot detail. So if we go and see after this filter and before this HTML tag or less than, you have this option available. Yes. So you can add whenever you want, you can add some other fields, depends on your need. Okay. And you feel if you want to have this like this, so you can have it here. Just double click and icon text change. So depends. Okay, because mostly user preferred the custom button with the name. Here, go back and execute it. Okay, so there's a button. So the next one is I'm going to, if I click, I need to perform some functionality. So for that I need a user command. It's already available, the subroutine. Go back, and this is a subroutine. Currently it's empty, and if you want, just quickly I'll show you. Here it is, ekpo details, the name of the subroutine, and the subroutine is ready with empty one, and you can write whatever code you want. Okay, so what I'm going to do is loop at what is the table name, IT purchase. Okay, so IT purchase, assigning field symbol. So I want to just update. So that is the reason I go with field symbol here. So you can write whatever you want, depends on your need. Purchase. So I'm going to update entire thing without any conditions. So it has books. Okay, so company code I'm going to have 1000. If if the user click the user command button, and it needs to be updated my internal table. This is backend, and front end it should be ALV. So that needs to be refreshed. Okay, so for that I'm going to make use of this parameter. You already aware of this parameter. It has all the selection fields, what is the index and what is the value. Double click, once you double click, what is the value, which field is got double clicked, every information is available here. And in that structure there is one of the parameter called refresh, and refresh is equal to X. So after my data manipulation I'm enabling this option. Okay, let's see how it behaves. Activate it and execute. So expecting the company code to be modified with 1000. Click change. Yes. So everything has got changed. It's an open change. I didn't go with any if conditions. So it depends on your need. Just make use of it. So now I'm going to enable the checkbox. So it's very simple. Make sure its ALV content is the representative of your internal table. So whatever you want to modify, just modify it, and it needs to be reflected in your ALV using parameter called refresh. After your data manipulation, then it automatically refreshed your ALV as well. So these all happens after an event is generated. Okay, so that is very clear. And next one is I'm going to enable the checkbox. So for that, the first step I need a field over here. The same name I'm going to give, any name you can give, type character 1. Preferable is to be the last because the select statement won't affect. So if you have the C box here, unnecessarily you have to give select an empty space to value for the first one. So just keep it anywhere, it doesn't matter. So it's to be first always because it's just a field, it needs to capture the value. You can keep wherever you want. Okay, and preferable is end of your internal table. So it is done. And I need one work area for layout. So for that I need, what is the reference? I need a reference of the layout. So go here and go to import IS and layouts. So here it is. Okay, it's a work area. Type layout, and the last step would be we need to give the field name to this layout, and it's called box field name equal to C box capital. Okay, the field name of your internal table which is going to hold the value of the checkbox. Okay, almost we are done, and one more thing, we have to enable it. So let me have, it's going to be IS layout. I think I'm good with the spelling. If not, it goes to dump. So to avoid that, better you call the reuse ALV grid display function module again. act toward it. So partially it's done. Now the checkbox is going to be enabled, and based on that I need to write a code based on the selection, only those particular line to be changed. That I have to write a code afterwards. Execute. Yes, so here I have a checkbox, and if you press Control, you can select more than one value. Now this is my requirement. Based on the selection, I'm going to update my company code. If I just click, it will update for all the records. So very simple code. Anyway, because this is going to be one of the parameter in my internal table, so it's very simple for you to just play around with the value of an internal table, right? So where it is, so here, where Cbox is not initial. Simple, that's it. I'll show you in the debugging as well. Let's show you the first, see the result, how it's reflect in the ALV, and execute. So select randomly some records and clicks change. So only those records got changed with whatever value you have updated in your internal table. So it's not much complicated. ALV is always, you remember, ALV is a representation of your internal table. Whatever you did in your internal table for the data manipulation, it should reflect in the ALV just with the refresh concept. Okay. So this is without object oriented, we have an option to refresh, and with the object oriented also we have an option to refresh as well. Okay. So if you want to see in the debugging mode how it reflect after you select the records through checkbox, execute, it will represent as X. Okay, and click change. Excuse me. So here it stopped. Double click the internal table, and if you open internal table and see the last field, so these two got selected, and come back, maybe you can open it in the ALV format, it's easy for you. Yep. So these are the records is got selected from the user. So 5 records got selected. So now it's your turn. Based on the selection, whatever you want, just make it. Okay. So hope this might be useful for you, and this how to add, how to copy the custom, standard menu, and how to add whatever informations you want, and then enable a checkbox, and how to do a small data manipulation based on the requirement and based on the record selection also. Just play around, and if you have any doubt on this, please let me know. And thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye. Yep, one more point I must go here, because I written as an open one. So if you want to write based on your selection only, then use this option, ucom equal to whatever the function code, because you should not select, it should not reflect for others as well, right? What is the function code? FCTCHANG. Okay. Yeah, act toward it. And I'll show you one more thing. Means the standard functions are not disturbed. Take out the breakpoint, execute. So I want to select and descending. It worked, even though it's a custom. These are actually a custom menu painter menus, right? But still the selections, select all, deselect all, standard functionalities are still working, because we are not changing the standard function code of this button. Okay. And if they select and click something else, it won't work for the change. So if I say this button, yeah, it's just, I'm sorry, based on the company code. If you select, so it's work only for that particular company code. And if you select, click your change custom button, then it will work only for that particular record. Okay, it just changed 1000 only for that. Got it? Because I have added a if condition, like user command. So once this button is selected, then do all the data manipulations. Clear? So this is very simple, but I would like to add before closing this particular video. And thank you so much once again, and see you in the next video. Bye.